Right, 25 November 2024, and today I'm going to be giving you the evening update, and this is very, very important. I know many of you are interested in hearing about this, and this is to do with the Victoria Falls project for the Diaspora Zimbabweans, where you're going to get free land, because land has got no value. There is no value in land. What is valuable is what you do with the land. So in Zimbabwe, we are very underdeveloped. Our country is behind. And if you compare to other countries around us, the infrastructure in our country is very poor. And tourists are not finding any value in coming to Zimbabwe. So what ends up happening is we end up becoming beggars. We beg for tourists, we beg for investment, we beg for debt forgiveness. Right now, Mnangagwa is very busy trying to get forgiven for debt. And today, the attempts by Mnangagwa to get debt forgiveness have failed. What Mnangagwa has been told is that the World Bank is going to come to Zimbabwe and assess the situation in January. So once again, Mnangagwa has gone away empty-handed. The facilitator from Mozambique, President Joaquim Son, has not arrived in Zimbabwe, and no one takes Mnangagwa seriously because he's got 34 political prisoners right now. There is no person that is normal that is going to forgive debt to someone like Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa arikuuraya vanhu nenzara. On a daily basis, I'm going to say this, and without apologies. So now let's go to what I want to talk about. What have I been busy with today? So today I've been looking at how do people build houses rapidly. So how is a house like this? How can this house be built in less than 10 days? So this is what is happening in South Africa. There is a massive move towards sustainable building and innovative building. So within the next few days, I'm going to meet the manufacturers of this innovative house. This house costs at least 1/10 costs of a normal house, and you build it within 6 days. So I'm not saying you have to build a house like that. All I'm saying is, you see this house which I'm staying here, the screen. That house is built using panels. The same panels that are here. These walls are in South Africa. This is Sasso. This wall we're looking at is at Sasso, and it takes a few days to build. And to make matters worse, these walls are light, they're not heavy. So when you look at those blocks, they look thick, but they're not heavy, they are thin materials. So these are the way that people are building houses. If you look at this is the material that was used for building. This hospital was used the same materials to build. You can see that in Australia, they love using this material. And there are two types of materials that we're looking at. That is EPS, expanded polystyrene, and also MIBT. So I was talking to someone today that introduced me to these building materials, and we're going to be exploring these materials very actively. This takes less than 5 days to do this, to build a building. And if it's a cottage, this is less than half a day. And even in Harare, you are going to be having your rent $200, $400, $500, depending on how you do it and where you live. And the roof also is made of the same materials. So you don't have to roof using a different material. It's easy to install. And when they bring it on a truck. So I want to look for a truck here that is carrying this material so that you can see what I'm talking about. Let me just look and see if I can find a truck which is carrying this thing. And unfortunately, I'm not able to find a truck right now that is carrying that thing. It's like planks, one on top of the other, and they just drive it to a house and they put it up very, very quickly. And when I talk about they, in the context of Victoria Falls and what we're trying to do. We have a process that we're going to take. So the first thing is obviously to get and secure the land, but you don't have to secure all the land. Already we've got a number of people that have approached us with land. So we've got almost 30,000. Sorry, when I say 30,000, I actually mean to say 30 hectares, because 10,000 acres is 1 hectare, if I'm not mistaken. So someone has approached us with 30,000 square meters of land. Another one has approached us with 20,000 square meters. Another one has approached us with 300 square meters or hectares of land. So these are large pieces of land that are available. And all that is left is for us to look at it. But right now, I'm going to be exploring how to build houses quickly. If you're in the diaspora, if many of us are involved, it's easier to build the house. But I can assure you that I don't build such an ugly house like this one. I believe in open space houses, lots of big windows, and lots of space. So like this is the difference. If you're building a house, I like this format. And also you'll be able to step out. If you look at this kind of construction, this is what I'm thinking about. If you build something like this, you can build a lot of beautiful houses, people at the top, people at the bottom. And also you can have a view, so a massive, beautiful view if you're looking over the gorge or if you're looking at the airport. In fact, there are two people right now who've approached us to land at the airport or the Victoria Falls near the airport. And I'm not saying that that's the land we're going to take. My view of land is quite different. And I'm not going to say it here, what we're planning to do, just because nyika yedu yakazara vavengi. You know, it's some of the jokes I'm going to slowly tone down, right, as we go. I'm going to slowly tone down on my jokes so that my investment in IT secure. I'm going to start toning down because I don't need to so bang on all the time. Na auxilia every day. I know that most of you are not comfortable with that. You want us to have peace. Nevano kumashingo. Mana auxilia na Mnangagwa. But vanofana kuita tone down. Mnangagwa mangwana buditsa itimba. Ndingafamba mukabudisa timba ndinoreduce volume by half. Kana timba kabuda ndinoreduce volume. So that tipe vanhu vanofarana. But mukarega kubudisa timba ndoincrease volume. I think Mnangagwa understands what I'm talking about. It's not right kusunga vanhu and keeping them in jail. I'm so annoyed nezvinhu zvana Mnangagwa zvokusunga vanhu. So let's try to work together. Currently, Zimbabwe, in a Zimbabwe round, we want to make our country developed. And that means we need to work together on a better approach and a better way of doing things. Victoria Falls is the center of everything. Right now, in the whole of this region, there is no vibrant tourist destination like the Victoria Falls. And I'm talking about all over this region. So these are the EPS panels that I'm showing up here. They are loaded into your house like this. You don't need to paint them. They come designed, they come already prepared, and all you do is assembly. So within a period of 6 days to 10 days, you have your house, and it will cost you very little. In fact, the estimated cost is about $5,000. You can have a house that looks like this. So 5,000 times 20, that's 100,000 rands. You can have a house like this, and probably for 200,000 rands or $10,000, you can have a house like this. I'm talking about the body and the superstructure. And then the windows, obviously, the fittings are going to cost a little bit more. Let me tell you what the Zimbabwe government did in 1980. They did what are called villages, where they built a house for every villager. So if you go to Masvingo, there's village 1, village 20. Every person was given a house, and every farmer was given a plot. The only thing that was missing was commercialization. So the Zimbabwe government did not commercialize. They did not put a high-speed rail. They did not put shopping malls. They did not put schools in a line. So my village ese akavakwa asina chikoro, asina more, asina anything. So if you go to every village that Mugabe built, there was no more, there was no school, there was no high-speed rail. That is where Mugabe went wrong. So what we're trying to do with Victoria Falls to Wange, that is a 100 kilometers, is to create something that will become the richest area in the whole of Africa. So I'm talking about massive houses of this nature, hospitals, malls, and your mall should not take more than 20 to 30 days to build. Near my house, there is a mall that has been built right now, and it took less than 6 months, completely from scratch to finish, and people start making money. So building of a mall, building of residential is going to be very important. And you also need to put things like hospitals. This hospital was completely built by panels, and it took less than 10 days to build. And also, as I said, we need everyone to have a cottage. And if a cottage costs you $1,000, how hard is that? You've got the land for free, and you've got your cottage that you're going to build using panels. And then you've got your wall. Your wall, if you say everyone must have a wall like this, let me just show you how beautiful that is going to be. Because the wall is a defining feature. Right? So if you say you're going to have a wall like this, everyone must have a wall like this. It's beautiful. Even if the elephants come, they won't cross over into your house. And this thing is so strong that if you fire a bullet, according to the guys that were talking to me today, if you fire a bullet, it don't penetrate here. And it also maintains a temperature, a stable and steady temperature inside of it. So if you're in this house, it maintains a temperature of 21 degrees. And to those who are in Victoria Falls, they know how important that is. That place is hot. It's blazing hot. And obviously, this is the standard house that I'm looking at. Every person having a 4-bedroom house with a view at the top. So I hope that I've painted for you a beautiful picture. What are we planning to do? We're planning to create one of the best free land developments for Zimbabweans. No cost land. I don't believe that Zimbabweans should pay land, especially those in the diaspora for coming home. But obviously, there are going to be plans for people who are also in Zimbabwe. However, this is not the project for people in Zimbabwe. This is the project for the guys in the diaspora. This is homecoming. And I'm talking here of between at least 1 million upwards of new units here. And that is investment of between 10 billion. And when you put high-speed rail, 10 billion and 60 billion. This can be done. And I know many of you are able to see the vision, especially when I lay out like this and I show you why it is so stupid that people are spending thousands and thousands on buildings. You don't need a huge house in Zimbabwe if you're in the diaspora. You don't need to spend all your credit card on a house. All you need is free land. You need a gated community. And then you need to build this. Well, not this smaller. Maybe you need to put 2 bedrooms cottage. Right now, most of you don't have it. You don't have a 2-bedroom cottage. You don't have a proper place where you can, when you're in Zimbabwe, you can go and put your things and you can plan your future while you're gathering money to build this. Because eventually, what we envisage is that every single house in this community should look like this. Right, I think I've covered everything on innovative building materials, and I'm going to attempt to visit the companies, the actual producers of these materials, sometimes within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm just setting up the appointments. Right, Mkoma, but Tirisa Mpiwi, Free Timber and his crew. As I said, if Mnangagwa releases timber and the crew of 34 that are currently in jail, I'm going to seriously reduce the temperature on Mnangagwa. Then your house is Gabagwa similar to Mnangagwa, is a DC residential villas at Mount Abdel, close to West area. They are not the same common. Mnangagwa Kakashandisa cement. We are planning to use what is called MIBT and EPS, extended polystyrene. And these are light materials. It's like you're carrying a cardboard. That is how it looks. But it's reinforced with cement on the outside. So there's a special technology that is available And as I said, this is not the same. That's why I'm not going to say. Right. Someone saying your sound is faint. My apologies for that. If my sound is faint, I apologize. I'll fix it. You can see that I'm not having a mic. I'm just in a space here. We're going to sort this out. Zimbabwe culture says the big bet wins. Ngoma 1-on-1, you're correct. But what we're planning here is unstoppable. Everyone is going to benefit. Free land to everyone. I hate people who sell stands. Let me repeat this. I hate someone who sells an undeveloped piece of land. Many Zimbabweans think they've got an asset when they've got a stand. A stand is nothing. What you need is a planned development, which I showed you yesterday, that's happening in Kenya. You need services, and you need a beautiful location. Do you guys understand? You need a beautiful location so that your house can gain value. If you build in Victoria Falls, within the next 20 years, all these houses here will be worth at least $1 million. This house I'm showing you here. In Cape Town, all those who know about Camps Bay, they understand what I'm talking about. The house is there, 200 million. So 200 million is a lot of money. That's like $10 million. I'm only saying this house here will be worth at least 100,000 to 500,000, and you didn't the land. So that is why we need to work together. That is why we need to get support. And we want to make Victoria Falls a place where people live. So imagine if we went to Sydney and no one lived there, and all you did was visit a lake or whatever. That is what Victoria Falls is like. That is why our country is not developed. The guys who are in charge right now, they've got no vision. And I just took a vision. Minister of Lands and whatever, they do what they know. But for us people who are in the diaspora, we need to do better. And I hope that we'll be able to do this. Everyone knows about the hospital. This thing is a 5-day thing, and it's cost nothing to build. So that is what we want to do. But my vision and what you should take away is your house will look like this. That is a double story or duplex that you built in less than 30 days, including everything that is a superstructure. The rest of the stuff you can do by yourself. And it won't cost you all those hundreds of thousands because your land will be free. And you'll be in a gated community. And on top of that, you're going to have a mall next to you, the biggest mall in the whole of Africa. And your wall will look like this. And it won't cost you a whole lot. And these things are not something that is imaginary. Right now, if you start, you can come to South Africa. The companies that is already offering this, you can come and buy this and fit them. The only thing we're going to do is we're going to do this from Zimbabwe. We're not going to be importing polystyrene to Zimbabwe. That would be stupid. To import my plastic into Zimbabwe. So we have to find ways of manufacturing this ourselves on site. And that should be possible to do. Right, guys, I tend to get carried away. I know that most of you are at work, and I know that most of you have got so many questions. What you do know about me is that when I start something, we finish. So everything that we start, we finish. And we're going to go through some of the roughest moments, but you're going to see at the end, we're going to complete everything that we start. I'm going, Michael says, you want to stand in Victoria Falls, please. Not a stand. You're going to be part of the development. So don't think you're going to be given a stand and say, here's a stand and do it. You're going to be part of a planned city, a planned development. But your land will be free. That is my vision for this whole thing. Right, I think we've done enough. Primrose says you want a house too from Bulawayo. Yes, we're going to sort this out. Let us now slowly develop this. We're going to form a steering committee, but please allow us to develop the vision. So the next thing that we're going to see is someone on the ground within the next few weeks, looking at pieces of land that will be told are available. And then obviously, as we develop this, I need to step back and other people need to move forward because ndozoti rimwe day ndakagara paya ndozongoti ndakagwara kuraiva nenzara hazvizofambika. Saka zvoda vanhu vakatsiga hana kuti vazoita izvi zvimaprojekti zvine vanhu vakawanda, zvinoda vanhu vakatsiga macommercial. So panoda kuita vanhu vane commercial. Inini ndinongoita munhu anotanga nekupa vision kana kuti chibaba or godfather or founder, but vanhu vacharana zvinhu izvi. And there are people who are not in this controversial line where I am. Guys, there's Victoria Falls Stock Exchange is there. You've got CEOs. Right now they're living Harare, vachikwira ndege kuenda Victoria Falls. We want this to be the home of our CEOs. We don't want Zimbabwe not chimwe chiri uko chimwe chiri uko. Ku Cape Town, an apartment like the one I'm showing you here is in high demand. You guys have a market apartment like this. I swear it will be gone. And I'm sorry for my Ndebele guys. I tend to forget. So in Cape Town, an apartment like this doesn't last more than 2 weeks on the market because it's beautiful. It's well prepared, it's well sorted out. It's got amenities. That is what we want to do. You're going to have a golf course. You're going to have a tennis court. You're going to have a gym. Those are the things that you want. In Zimbabwe right now, you've got nothing. The only thing you have is your house. A person that lives in Borodo right now, your house has got no value. In the next 20 years, your house will look ugly and big. It will be like Chamba's house. You know Chamba's house, that one, that big one. It makes no sense. If you go there right now, it is like, so what you want to do is to build something that will maintain value. And that is why I'm introducing this idea to you so that you can get it. And I'm counting on all your support that you've been giving. Without fail, we'll be getting a lot of support. And I'd like to thank all of you for the support on this vision and this project, including the guys on the ground, Vanarum government, Vanarum councils who are quietly talking to us about these projects because they know that this is a national project. Even Mnangagwa, Argofara, Mnangagwa, and I told you, Zimbabwe diaspora, they are imagining a Zimbabwe that can become beautiful and amazing. Although I know what Mnangagwa, people say, how do I run this project myself? Right. I think we've covered everything. And in any guys, I'm awake to everything. I know everything that is happening everywhere. That's my job. When I wake up, I don't go to the office. This is my office. Ndichitarisa nyika yese singiros those are data every day and don't buy news even Mnangagwa ndowacha baba does really come Zimbabwe. So that's why I like to give you this information and please take it the way I deliver it. Also, I know that many of you don't know where to go. Where is the direction? To go by direction. This is the direction. Victoria Falls is the center of development of Zimbabwe. Tourist-based economy. 2 houses each soldier. And I know my soldier guys, they watch me every day and say, so I get calls and say, Gamba, why do you say 2 houses each soldier? My soldier, they're the most important people in the country. Van security. When I was in America, the guys come out and train. They say people in the army get in. Then my veterans come in. Then so I'm a soldier. To the planned city. But it won't be the military city. It will be a place where your family can go, where you can leave your family, go to school, and where your family can grow up protected when they're not there, and where there's high-speed rail. So high-speed rail is going to be very, very important. But remember, the home of capital is America. If you're not friends with the United States of America, you're an enemy of capital. America is the friend of capital. So we need to find a way of going to the New York Stock Exchange, go to private capital, and fund all these projects that we're talking about. Your house, the way it looks now, it makes no sense. If I build you this house right now, it makes no sense. But if I put the biggest mall there with all the biggest shops, and people fly to Victoria Falls to shop, and they spend months in the Victoria Falls, because the moment everyone comes and goes away after 2 days, we want it to be possible for someone to come in the Victoria Falls and stay there and have dinner and go on the boat cruise on the Zambezi and spend months in there. And we want the business there to be viable. So the people in the Victoria Falls support us, stop being skeptical. People who are in the government, what land which is available, support this diaspora and support what we're trying to do here. That is the future. And I know that a whole lot of people in the Victoria Falls are very interested in what I'm talking about here. Also, people who are worried about conservation, people who are worried about the tribal issues. We're all going to deal with those issues. And I hope that everyone is going to go behind this project and we can work on it. Right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And I would like to go now, because I'll be back here in the morning at 3 a.m. to start preparing. It is my belief that we've got a big mission ahead of us. And this started at Kariba. And I know that the guys at Kariba are watching me, and the guys at Diaspora Investors, they're watching me. We've got a whole group of people who are and who have been supporting us for a very long time. Everyone is going to be given an opportunity to be here, but those who've been with us for longer are going to take a special place. We have developed these ideas using capital from the diaspora investors. The first capital we raised was about 2 million rands, almost 4 years ago. The project that we're going to do now is going to be very big. And I may not be able to see the end of it, but we have to look at a 50-year period or a 50-year strategy so that our country can move away from this shame that it has become. Zimbabwe is an embarrassment in the eyes of many, many people. This week, as we speak, there is a young girl here, just less than 5 kilometers away from me, who is lying in a mortuary. She was stabbed by another Zimbabwean girl in a fight over less than 20 rands. That's my understanding. People from our country, every day, they're in newspapers for the wrong reason. You have lost your culture because we are far away from our homes, and the things that we do are shameful. So there is a big opportunity for us to come and work together on something very important and something that will transform our lives, not just us, but our future generation. Imagine if you leave your children where they are or where you are now. Some will be in Sydney, some will be in Johannesburg, some will be in the United States, some will be in the UK. And that is the end of our generation. That is the end of our culture. So let's fix this and let's make it work. And Tongweza put aside all our differences and put pressure on the government to stop doing what they're doing right now, which is to continuously destroy value. So Anamnangaba, they must stop destroying value, and we must get Victoria Falls working. And this project must be free land. So I want us to get free land. And I'm expecting a call one day. Kunemun and power. What is government? We've heard what they're talking about and want to be part of it. Because if you are left here, time is moving. We are all losing time. One day, this project is going to succeed, and it will succeed without you, the government. Because vananeta kumirira zvimapulani zvenyu zvisingaperi, anamnangagwa, anamtuli ngube, ananzanu kamdara davengwa, karuda 2030. So these are the kind of things I'm talking about. Let's try to work on something big. And this project is easily a $10 billion project. Right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And I really enjoyed talking to you, without forgetting our sponsor, Muve. Dara is out. And they were at the beach mukadzi wake haana masana zvokuti mudhara akadanana nevakadzi 400. So Muve is our sponsor. $50 in Zimbabwe, Black Friday special, delivered to your home. $50 you deposit in a Zimbabwean bank account, and we only have 50 packets of 200 grams left. For the guys in the UK, we are only going to be able to give a special until the end of, let's say, 16 December. After 16 December, we'll go back to our original 100 grams. So, musatongwe nemasalad, chinhu chakasimba ichi. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and a good night.